It's 4 o'clock. It's the 24th day of April 2021. Apparently, there's a party going on next door, and I don't know why. Is it a holiday? I don't think so. I'm the grumpy guide to all things gaming, the OGGM, and now I feel like I have to look at a calendar. April calendar. No, I can't see why. Is the 24th a thing? I don't know. Solstice? Whatever. That's not what I came to talk about, but it is kind of interesting. And loud. And a really bad taste in music. Anyways, decided to get off my politically incorrect bandwagon and get back to talking about gaming. And so we always refer to Session 0, Rule 0. But sometimes I notice we say big words like Session 0 and Word 0, and then we don't explain them, and then people say things like get to the point, even though I do. But whatever, the internet is a hostile, toxic place. So, what is Rule 0? What is the big thing? We always refer to Rule 0. Well, it's a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I think Rule 0 is, at least what I've always believed, Rule 0 is this is a game. It's only a game. It's only ever going to be a game. It is nothing else other than a game. When we sit down, we agree to play this game together for a couple hours, and then the game ends. It's supposed to be fun because it's a game. If you're not having fun, then we need to address that, either before or after the game. If at some point it stops being a game, at some point it starts becoming real life, then we need to discuss that, and maybe you shouldn't be playing because it's a game. It's no different than Monopoly or football or a video game. This is a game. A game is supposed to be fun. Don't take this too seriously. So I think that's what Rule 0 is, though a lot of people would argue that Rule 0 is actually the DM is always right. That no matter what, this is the DM's game, this is the DM's world, respect his world, whatever he says goes. But I don't think so, because the DM isn't always right. Sometimes the DM can be wrong and make a mistake. That mistake could be something simple as not understanding the way a rule is read out, or something more complicated and like insulting someone without realizing they insulted them. So the DM is not always right. The DM is always correct, because the DM is the final interpreter of the rules of the game once everybody agrees what the rules are going to be. See Session 0. So the DM is always correct. And you should not call the DM out during the game, because it suspends the disbelief. Just, okay, the coach made a bad call. We'll wait to the end of the game to discuss it. Most DMs usually have at least a couple moments to say, hey, was there anything, you want to see whatever, at least I do, where, do differently, one thing I always like to ask, hey, is there any monsters you've always wanted to fight that you'd like to see in the game? Is there any treasure you've always wanted your character to have that I could put in the game? Or is there any places or types of dungeons that you've always wanted to go through, so maybe we could toss that into the game? Was there anything that happened that you didn't understand or you didn't like, or a ruling I made that you don't agree with? That's okay, is because, we don't communicate as well as we should when we're, playing this game. It's amazing how a bunch of 4-year-olds and 6-year-olds can play Let's Pretend for 2-3 hours and never have any trouble communicating what's going on and what the rules of that universe is. But the minute we become adults, we just can't communicate. And when we play this stupid role-playing game, we end up getting stupid because we, for some reason, forget how to communicate when we get older. I don't know why. But we do. Lord knows I can't communicate for shit. Support me, Mango Pepsi. You're actually surprisingly good. I like this, and I don't know why. Anyway, so one could argue that the Rule 0 is the DM is always correct. But that then goes into the whole different topic, a whole different vlog of being, it's the DM's world, and the DM has final say. And that is just a whole Aquaman level of kettle of fish, of just a whole ocean of ugliness that has become a whole brand new thing that I don't really feel like talking about in this flag. So, for me, anyways, and I think for most people, lesson 0, rule 0 is this is the rule that trumps every other rule we might come up with for the game. And that rule is this is a game. Okay? It's a game. That's my DM tip for the day. If you appreciate this content, let me know. If you don't appreciate this content, let me know. But if you're gonna badmouth me, at least subscribe so it counts towards the algorithm. By the way, whether you badmouth me or not, if you're commenting, it counts towards the algorithm. So yeah, go ahead, comment all you want. I'm your grumpy guide to all things gaming. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I will talk to you later. It's time for dinner, and for me to figure out why there's a party next door and why they're so noisy. Get off my lawn.